was a Tuesday in November, 7:15 in the evening, and I was making pasta. Not ordering it through an app, not reheating something in a container I had picked up on the way home, actually making it, filling the pot, salting the water, standing in my own kitchen with the burner on low. The water was taking forever to boil, and I stood there watching it, not scrolling, not listening to anything, and I had nowhere to be. That was when I understood what I had given away. I had given away Tuesday evenings and Sunday mornings and the specific quality of a weekday hour that has no claim on it.
I had given these away so gradually, so completely, that I had stopped noticing they were gone.
Standing at the stove that November evening, I was 6 months into an experiment I had not planned and had not been ready for. Go back. I was 22 when I graduated, 23 when I took the first real job. My father had worked for the same company for 22 years. He never talked about it with bitterness or regret. On Sunday evenings, when I was maybe 8 or 9, I used to watch him iron his shirts for the week ahead. A row of them on hangers, pale blues and whites, the iron going steadily in the small upstairs room while the television played something downstairs we were both missing. Work hard now, then you'll have options. That was the sentence. He said it to me when I was 16 in the kitchen before school, and I received it the way children receive the sentences their parents hand them, as fact, as love. I remember the offer letter, thick paper, the company logo embossed at the top, a salary figure I read 3 times. I called my mother from the university car park on a Thursday afternoon, standing next to a bicycle that wasn't mine. She cried, not fully, just a breath-catch version. What I understood at 22 was compress the sacrifice. What I did not understand was that the formula was not designed to end. The sacrifice does not compress, it compounds. I was 23, standing in that car park with a phone still warm in my hand, and I believed, genuinely and without irony, that the rest of my life was beginning. I was right. I just could not have told you what kind of life it was.
By 26, I had been promoted twice. I had a flat with high ceilings, a coffee machine that cost more than my first 3 months of university rent. My salary had a comma in it. I moved it around in spreadsheets sometimes, late at night, a game I played to manage a specific kind of anxiety that had no other outlet. My weeks had a texture that is difficult to describe from outside it. Purposeful, tight. I was good at it. That mattered more than I would have admitted then. I had a friend, Marcus, who I had known since we were both in bad suits at graduate induction 12 years ago. He left at 28. Gave notice on a Tuesday, sent me a text that said, "I'm out, I'll explain later," and spent the next 6 months in Portugal. I remember thinking, that's a choice you can make when you don't have as much to lose. Not judgment, something worse. He came back eventually, quieter, lighter in a way I noticed but did not ask about. He would ask me sometimes, "How are you?" but longer than that, "How are you actually?" And I would give him an answer that was technically accurate and emotionally hollow. I still have not answered the question he was actually asking. Some questions you file away because the moment is not right. Some questions you file away because the answer requires you to be someone you are not yet prepared to be. 28, 29, 30. At 29, I started saying just one more year to myself on the motorway. Not a decision, a sedative. Just one more year at this pace, and then I will reassess. Just one more year, and the savings will feel like a foundation. The machine was elegant in a way I can only describe in retrospect.
It was never cruel enough to break you all at once. Instead, it gave you just enough, a bonus that reset the clock, a new title that reframed the sacrifice as investment. I am not describing this as a flaw unique to me. I am describing the mechanism.
I missed my oldest friend's wedding. He was 30, getting married in a small ceremony 3 hours north. I called him the morning of the wedding to explain. He said, "I understand, don't worry about it." He meant it. That was the worst part, that he meant it. I watched the photographs that evening from a hotel room in a different city. He was laughing in all of them, properly laughing. There is a particular kind of tired that sleep does not fix. I had been that tired for so long, I had started to call it personality.
The bonus arrived in March. The clock reset. I started again.
I was 31 when I crossed the number. The salary figure I had written on a piece of paper at 22 and kept in the back of a notebook for 9 years. The month it happened, I looked at the payslip and waited. The signal did not come. That was the first time I used the word trap. I closed the payslip tab, opened a new presentation, replied to 16 messages. I left on a Wednesday. There was no scene, no confrontation. On a Wednesday morning before 9, I sent it. Then I walked to the coffee shop on the corner and sat in the window for an hour and watched the street. It was raining lightly, the kind of rain that doesn't commit. I noticed that I could see the people outside, that I was actually looking at the street instead of looking through it. The silence was enormous. But silence is not neutral. Silence is informative.
I sat down with my bank statements and looked at them with the same focused attention I had once given to quarterly reports. What I found was not numbers. What I found was a record of my own substitutions. I had been spending a significant part of my income on recovery, on the tools required to sustain the pace that generated the income in the first place.
I canceled 13 subscriptions. 13 services I had been paying for and barely using. Each of them a monument to the version of me that was going to read more, learn a language, stay connected to things I kept meaning to get back to. Work is an excellent place to hide. What I had not considered was what I would find when I stopped. I cooked the pasta. I stood at the stove and cooked it, and there was nowhere to be. And that was the first thing that had been true for as long as I could remember.
By the third month, the panic had settled into something that felt more like attention. I was managing, not comfortably, but managing. I started noticing things I had stopped noticing. I had forgotten that I liked mornings, not for productivity, just mornings. The quality of light before 9, the specific quiet of a city not fully awake. I had been waking up to alarms for a decade. I woke up to the light now.
Marcus sent me a message in month 4. Just checking you're okay. I wrote back, I think so. He wrote, that's probably the most honest thing you've said in years. He was right. I did not want to admit how right he was. I made pasta again that week, and the week after. There was no revelation in it anymore. It was just dinner. That felt like enough.
The trap was never the job. The job was not the trap. The job was just a location. The trap was the version of myself I had gradually, incrementally agreed to become in order to keep it. That is the thing you cannot see from inside. You are too busy being competent. I spent 10 years being the most capable person in a version of my life I did not choose.
It has been 6 months. I do not have an answer to what comes next. My father sent me a message last month. He wrote, "I hope you're not wasting it." I typed 3 different responses and deleted all of them. He gave me the formula in good faith, the only map he had. I took it, and I followed it, and I followed it well, and I arrived somewhere that I did not recognize as the destination. That is not his fault. It is simply the particular cost of a particular kind of inheritance. Somewhere tonight, there is someone looking at a screen in an office they built themselves. They are answering a message after 10 and calling it dedication. They are buying 1 more year. They are not bad at their life. They are very, very good at someone else's version of it. If any of this felt a little too familiar, there are more stories like this one here. The water was already boiling when I came back to the stove. I stood there for a moment, watched it. That was enough for a Tuesday.